Hello, world. We're going to talk about the word jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction anyway? I mean, at its simplest, it's about who has the authority to make legal decisions in a particular situation. You've probably heard this word a lot in the news or in newspapers or online or even in documents that, pertain to your everyday life that are of legal nature. Think of it as answering the question, who's in charge here? So, who has jurisdiction at my house? Well, mom does. But in the real world, jurisdiction determines which court can hear your case, what laws apply to your situation, what government agencies have authority over your matter, and where you need to file paperwork. And so it's like knowing which customer service department can actually solve your problems, except without legal consequences if you get it wrong. So there's different types of jurisdiction that you might encounter. There is the geographic kind. So this is where location matters. This is about where your legal issue is handled based on physical boundaries. So is it a local level? Like when you have a local court that deals with like traffic tickets or small claims matters or local ordinance violations? Or is it a state or provincial level court that handle other matters like, maybe contract disputes or wills and estates? Or is a federal level court, handling federal law, so federal applying across your country? There's also something called subject matter jurisdiction, and this is really what is your case about. So different courts specialize in different types of cases or different subjects. So you have civil courts that handle disputes between people or businesses, like contract disagreements or personal injury claims or property disputes. And then you have criminal courts, and so those are the courts that deal specially with people who break criminal laws. Then you have specialized courts. A lot of different jurisdictions will have different specialized courts depending on where they are. So depending on when I say jurisdictions, I mean different, physical jurisdictions. The where will have specialized courts that do special whats. So like family court or probate court or bankruptcy court or tax court or immigration courts. And these vary depending on the country and the state or province that you live in. So think of these like departments in a hospital. If you have a heart problem, you want to be treated by a cardiologist. If you're not an orthopedic surgeon, for example. So we'll use a couple of real life examples to try and make this clear. So think about like you get into a fender bender in your hometown. Okay, so your traffic citation, if you get a traffic ticket, that could be handled by your local municipal court. Whereas your insurance claim dispute, that might go to your provincial or state level court. And, if you have a driver who is from another country that happened to be involved in the driving issue, then that might even go to a different court. And if there is a criminal allegation that gets involved, then, well, that would go to your criminal court. Another example is online shopping when it just goes wrong and doesn't work out. You order a product that arrived damaged, you might go to a small claims court in your local small claims court to make a small claim. If the seller is in another state or province, you might need to file your lawsuit in their place, depending on the terms and conditions that you agree to. Or if it's part of a massive pattern of people affected across many different states or provinces, it could become something that is a federal class action lawsuit, again, depending on the country where you live. And so why does jurisdiction matter? Why is this word so important? Well, getting your jurisdiction wrong can have serious consequences. So you could have your case dismissed entirely. You could waste a lot of time and a lot of money filing in the wrong place. You could miss important deadlines while you're, trying to figure out where to go. The outcome could also be very different depending on which laws applies and which don't. So a lot of common questions answered simply. I'll try and do that now. First, what state or province's laws apply to a particular situation? Well, it depends on several factors. It depends on where you live, where the other party lives, if it's an incident, where the incident occurred, if you have a contract, what the contract said. Many contracts have a term that will really be called choice of law or choice of venue. This clause specifies what laws apply regardless of where you live. Another question I hear sometimes is, can I choose where to file my lawsuit? Well, sometimes you do have options, especially in civil cases, and this is called forum shopping, looking for the most favorable jurisdiction. But your options are limited by legitimate connections to the place, to the jurisdiction. Contracts will often specify where disputes are handled, so where there is exclusive jurisdiction. And the other side can sometimes request a change of venue if the circumstances are right. Now, what is personal jurisdiction? That's also a question I've heard before. And this means where the court has authority over a specific person or business. So that's why it's personal. So generally, courts have personal jurisdiction over people who live in their geographic area, or who do business in that area, or who have committed acts in this area, or who agree to the court's jurisdiction in that area according to the terms of a contract. So there are some practical issues that come with navigating jurisdiction, some practical things that you need to consider. So the first is, really read the fine print in contracts. They often specify which jurisdiction will apply if you do have a dispute in the future. Another thing to do is to check where to file your government paperwork. So marriage licenses, business registrations, official documents, they need to be filed in specific jurisdictions. So make sure you check ahead of time that you're filing in the right place. Don't assume that the closest courthouse to you is necessarily the right one. Always verify what court handles your specific type of case. Be aware of time limits. Different jurisdictions have different what they call statutes of limitations, not statutes of limitations, but statutes of limitations, which is a deadline for filing your case. And then consider jurisdiction when you're moving between states or provinces for things like child custody issues or wills or business regulations that might be affected. And jurisdiction can get complicated. So some situations have what we call overlapping jurisdiction or complex rules. So you have internet-related disputes that kind of happen in the world of the internet. You have international business transactions, crimes that cross borders, Native American or indigenous peoples' tribal lands. There's maritime law. These situations often require legal expertise in these areas to really navigate them properly. So the bottom line is, jurisdiction may seem like legal jargon, but it's really about making sure your legal matter is handled by the right authority in the right place. So understanding the basics can really help you avoid the common pitfalls and know when you might need professional guidance. And if you have a question, you probably need professional guidance, so you should do that. Because next time you hear this case falls under X jurisdiction, or you need to file that in probate court, you'll have a clearer picture of what that really means. What other legal concepts would you like explained in plain language? Any tech concepts that you want to decrypt that jargon? Well, let me know in the comments.